Awesome. Well, hey, Erin, thanks so much for taking the time to meet with us today. I'm really excited to be talking with you here today. Obviously, we're not in person together. I'm in my home office and you're in yours, and
Right.
it's a crazy time for sure. But I'm glad that we're able to connect today and talk through some things during this time. And so, first question I would just love to ask you is, what are some things that you're doing right now to keep your business moving forward during this current crisis that our nation is facing?
Wow. Yeah, that's a great question. Some of the things that we're doing to move forward right now in our business is we're staying informed. So what does that mean? Like staying informed with our government. For instance, the shelter in place. Like what does that mean? What does that mean for our business? And what are we doing to protect our clients? What staying informed with the virus, like what's going on with the virus, and just making sure that we're having the facts rather than giving our opinions. Another thing is just seeing what's going on in the industry, like how are people, what are other agents doing, what are other ELPs doing. So watching a lot of ELP EntreLeadership, watching KW Demand. So there's just tons of podcasts out there that we can listen to. So just staying informed. I do have weekly coaching, so some of this is helping me and guiding me through this because we've never been through this before. So like, how can we help our clients during this time? And then also staying up with like, can we have showings? Are people still buying and selling houses? So when we have conversations with our clients, like we know what to say. We know we're able to answer those questions, that we're educated on it. So one thing that we're mainly doing is staying informed. And then also coming up with the plan. I believe too, like we have a team, we have 3 sales agents and 2 admins. So it's really been like all hands on deck and just making sure that we're having conversations constantly about this because it's the same results that we want. It just looks different. It's just a different process. So we just want to make sure that we have a plan in place of what to say. And then we also like knowing what to say. So having scripts for MAPS coaching, just rewording them. So if someone says, hey, I decided that I don't want to look at houses anymore during this time, but really, is that the best thing for our clients at this time? Are they coming from scarcity, or showing them like, hey, how about we keep an open mind, we just keep looking at what's on the market, and then you might, because interest rates are a all-time low, and then you might be able to get an opportunity right now that you couldn't get before. So it's just like knowing those things and just being able to share that to our clients. That's been helping us move forward a lot. So we have currently a buyer program for virtually buying a house. Like you can do everything from your home. And then also selling a house virtually. What does that look like? So just having a plan. And we actually have programs that we call virtually home buying programs that we send out through a PDF, and then just being able to send that out. So those are some of the things that we're doing to move forward.
Awesome. I love that. I even love the call out there for scarcity versus abundance mentality, because right now that's a real thing in our country. And so for you as an ELP and as a professional, it's so important for you to make sure that you're staying informed so that you can come from a place of contribution and have that abundance mentality as you're interacting with your clients and with your team as well. That's
Mm-hmm.
so important.
Yep, absolutely. I agree completely.
I, I love that. So you talked through communication a little bit, communicating with clients and making sure that they have a plan. So how are you communicating with your Ramsey referrals during this time and your database? What are you doing to make sure you're staying on top of that?
Okay. Yeah. So a lot of what we're doing to communicate with our ELPs, our past ELP clients and our current ones that are coming through right now, we're calling them, or we're checking on them, and just asking that simple question. Hey, how are you? How are you and your family doing this time? Is there anything that we can do to help? And just asking those questions. So we're calling them. If they're not answering, we're texting them, checking in on them. And a lot of people are home right now. So it's a great time pretty much everyone's home right now. So it's a great time. People are going to answer the phone right now. So I think it's a great time to call your ELP. It's the best time actually, because usually when you're calling during the day, they're on conference calls, they're at work, they're not going to be able to answer. But now they still may be working, but they have a little bit more time to answer. And then we have texting and then emailing. So we're emailing things of value. So we don't want to go in and just be super salesy. We want to come from contribution. So we're going to go in and give them things of value to help them get through this time. And a lot of what Dave Ramsey is doing is like giving hope. So we might send them like, what essentials do you need to buy during a quarantine? So we have a list of everything that you would need. And then what we were talking about rose pepper earlier, and that's one of the places that are open, they're delivering, which is great, but who knows like what's open right now. So we accumulated a list of all the restaurants that are open and emailed it out, and then also put it all over our social media too. So just staying in touch through social media. Something that we just finished our ELP mastermind a half an hour ago. And something that I just found out is like Dave has given out 2 weeks of Financial Peace University for free. So you can listen to all 9 sessions during that time. So what a great thing to give something of value to your clients through ELP who are like huge Dave fans. Like that's a great way to like give back. So that's something that like I'm determined to do later on today, is be able to let everyone know about that. So just coming from contribution is probably the biggest thing to stay in communication with them.
I love that. That's huge. And I think it's so important too, that not only are we coming from a place of contribution, but we're also getting creative in the ways that we're staying in communication with our clients. You mentioned call, email, and text, but I mean, you also mentioned social media. Now is the time more than ever where we need to shift how we're communicating to make sure that we're reaching out to people, because now more than ever, people need communication. And so I think that's a really good call out there. I love that.
Thanks.
So what are some practical tips that you can give real estate ELPs right now in this season? Right now, we've got ELPs all across the country that are trying to shift in this time. What are some practical tips that you would give your fellow realtors across the country right now on this?
Yeah, that's a great question. So how I would give them the advice right now, the ELPs, and just coming off that one call, just seeing a lot of people, because in Tennessee, we kind of have a benefit where we have a home is an essential, which is great. But some of them are not. So you can see kind of some of them down a little bit about it, So I would just recommend just stay positive, and just stay open-minded. Like how can you still sell real estate right now? And there's still ways too. So I think just focusing again on staying informed, like how can I sell real estate, or asking yourself a question like, what can I do right now that can move my business forward, where I can still get people under contract, where I can still help someone buy or sell a home? Like what can I do? And then come up with a plan to do it, and then being able to move forward like that. And I think too, just coming from contribution, like I've been talking about, like making those care calls, touching them. And then it's just a great opportunity to do that like right now. So I really just believe just focusing on the good and just staying positive. Yeah.
I love that. Well, now is a time more than ever too, Erin, where we have an opportunity to build for the future. You kind of mentioned having some time back. Some realtors maybe aren't experiencing as much time back as others, but in that now more than ever is an opportunity to build. And so what are you doing right now that's going to make your business stronger and better once life does return back to as close to normal as it was prior to all this changing in our country?
Yeah, that's a great question. And some of the things that we're doing right now to be able, just because we do have more time, so when we do go back to normal, we'll be able to move forward even more, and things will just overflow. That's what I'm just hoping for. But just really tighten up our systems. And I'm not sure if like a lot of people even have those systems in place, but just writing down your systems and putting them in place. So when you do come back, things can just move without even really doing much. So we have a few systems we're currently working on. It's like our follow-up plan. So our follow-up plan with open houses. We had a pretty good follow-up plan before, but how can we make that better? And then also, what do we do whenever we have an ELP lead come in? Is there any way that we can come from contribution and be able to change our system with the crisis going on currently right now. And then onboarding. I think a lot of our onboarding checklists that we have too, just writing them down and going through and just tightening up those. And then also working on our skills. We have a lot of opportunity through EntreLeadership that we're a part of, and through Keller Williams has Bold that we can go through. So we've been working on our skills there, and then still practicing every morning at 8:30 our scripts, I think is huge. And then also just cleaning up our database. I think going through all of our leads and getting their time frame, like where are you going to buy a house this year? When do you see yourself in a new home? When do you want to put your house on the market this year? And just really asking those questions. So when we do come back, we know like who is ready to move right now, so we can be able to guide them and help them. Yeah. So those are some of the things.
I love that. You know, taking this time to, instead of just keep chopping the tree the way you always have, pull back, sharpen the axe, maybe ditch the axe and get a chainsaw. You know, who knows in
Right.
that, so that ultimately you can really attack those trees moving forward in that. So for us in this time, again, encouragement and positivity is huge here. And so are there any last minute thoughts or anything that you would want to say to your ELP friends across the country as we're all dealing with this new normal?
Yeah, I think just really sit down and like come up with a plan. I think that's the best thing that you could do, and just have more conversations, because again, we want the same results. People are still looking to buy and sell houses. They're not going to stop. People are still going through crisis in their life where they actually want more cushion to be able to, like, what is going to happen after this. So I actually see a lot more like for sale by owners that are looking to sell, and investors who have been holding on to property that are looking to sell. So just there's people out there still looking to buy and sell. So I think coming up with a plan is probably the best thing you can do, and figuring out, hey, there is a way, instead of going the other way and saying, oh, well, no one's looking to buy or sell a house right now, and just kind of pulling back from your business. And it's kind of like the holidays. Like people during the holidays, they kind of just sit back and like, no one's buying a house during the holidays. No one's going to look to sell their house. And so they kind of just put on the brakes for a month. So I guess the biggest encouragement I would say is like, keep moving forward, keep looking for those people that are looking to buy and sell. Because right now is our busy season. And so if you're going to step back, and then when you get back in the business, I think it's just you're going to miss out on a lot. So I think stay in focus and just make those calls, have those conversations with people. And I think it's going to definitely, when we go back to normal, because we're going to go back to normal, we're going to get through this. So I think just wake up every day, get in front of your computer, still get dressed, and have those conversations with people.
Awesome. I love that. Yeah. Stay focused. We're not finished.